So Highland Noise Podcast. I'm Shane.
I'm Glory.
A happy Monday.
Happy fucking Monday. It sure is a Monday, isn't it?
It's definitely a Monday. It feels like a Monday. But
Does it?
You know, I'm optimistic for this week. I'm feeling good. I got a busy week ahead of me, which I'm stoked about. Keeping myself moving and busy is always good for the brain. Keeps my mind off the demons, which is good.
Battling my demons or whatever the fuck. I
That
the
song
melody
is fire as fuck. I could sing that bar
Johnson,
for bar.
Right?
Yeah.
Fucks.
I don't know if anybody cares, but my background changed.
Ooh.
Got a whole new chair. It's a love seat.
Ooh.
Only half of it's in frame. The other half is off to the side. But I got a love seat now, which is very exciting. Upgrade in the room.
Good job, man.
Yeah, thanks. I'd say I built it all by myself, but I didn't. My mom had to help me because it was too long. It was
Shout
too
out,
long.
Mom.
Way too long. Shout out, Mom. She helped me build this fucking thing.
Hell yeah.
Because no one else wanted to help me.
Sorry about that, man.
It's okay, man. It got built. So what can I say?
And you got Mom.
And,
what else?
And mom stepped the fuck up.
There you go. Damn straight.
Went to a couple of shows this past weekend.
Oh my god, that was the text that you sent me where you said, "Now I'm gonna build this shit." I was like, "What is he fucking?" Sorry, it just. I replied. I was supportive. I was like hell yeah, you know.
I sent you the box. You go 1 million beers.
I'm the funniest person alive. I am the funniest person.
And I had fucking told you about the chair earlier that day.
1 million beers.
1 million beers. I got 1 million beers shipped to my house.
Holy fuck.
Drank 1 million beers.
And built a fucking chair.
That's why my mom needed to help me. I drank 1 million beers and tried to put the chair together.
Oh my god, that's so fucking funny. Okay, sorry, your shows. Yes.
Yeah.
You can see my aha moment. If you play, you can see literally where I go.
Oh shit.
Okay.
Yes, I went to a couple of shows this past weekend. Made last minute plans to see the Offspring and Jimmy Eat World on Saturday, which was fun. Newfound Glory also performed, but it was running late, and then the parking situation was the worst I've ever seen. This venue, I've been to this venue, PNC Bank Arts Center, countless times. It's 30 minutes from my house, so every summer I find myself at several shows there. Usually the concert lineup is better than it is this year, but I feel like the summer touring lineup across the board is not that great this summer. We've talked about it on here previously, but I wound up at this show, so I missed Newfound Glory entirely. I walked in as they were finishing their last song, the big song. So I heard like 30 seconds of Newfound Glory, but I didn't watch any of it, which was a bummer because although I'm not like this huge Newfound Glory fan, I've, bucket list band in terms of just massive in the scene. Would I ever go out of my way to like see them headline? Probably not, but they were there. I had tickets, so it's like I'd like to check this off, but the parking situation did not allow that to happen. Jimmy Eat World, that's why I was there. They're always fucking phenomenal live. They're such a tight live band. There's like it's all killer no filler in terms of they just go up there, they hammer out the songs. They have 45-minute, an hour set length, whatever it is, and they just hammer through the songs. There's not a lot of chatter, and they're so fucking tight. That's what I love about them. Live is just how tight they are. It blows me away every time. I'm not this like massive Jimmy Eat World fan. I don't know most of the fucking songs they're playing, but this shit is so tight, and they're one of those bands that I'm just like you have to see this live at least once. That was my third time seeing them, and they blow me away every single time. And then the Offspring was headlining. I didn't stay for the entire show because my girlfriend and I were there to see Jimmy Eat World. But we were there. The Offspring were playing. I knew the parking situation was going to be bad getting out to, so I was like, old man me was like, we're gonna leave before this show's over. But we stayed for about an hour.
Offspring.
Yeah.
Did you get the Dick song?
No.
Sex song?
No.
I don't know.
It's terrible. Do I think modern Offspring is good. Not at all. That record we talked about was abysmal and haunts me to this day. We didn't chat about the most recent one, which is the one they're touring on, because that turned us off so much. I'm still not an Offspring fan, but I do think that them live, there's a reason why they are the size they are. I did not realize how big that band is until there were 17,000 people sitting in an amphitheater with me watching the Offspring perform. That was fucking wild to me. Yeah. I thought that they were really that they were pretty solid live. They basically boils down to a perfectly fine band. The older stuff, the stuff that people know, is why they continue to draw the crowds they do. There's a reason why those songs and those records are so loved by people. Those songs are good. Do I think that they've overstayed their welcome in terms of new studio music? Yeah, sure.
Okay to just tour your old shit when you get to a point where you're just churning out garbage.
Yeah,
you know?
Exactly. But they played a majority of old stuff. So the set was actually pretty solid from what I saw. Like I said, I stayed for an hour, so I saw everything except like the hits, because all the hits were saved majority for the end. But I saw everything besides the hits, and I left there being like, they're fine. I personally think that Jimmy Eat World as a live band wipes the floor with the Offspring. But I thought that the Offspring and their production and all that was fun and made the show engaging, despite, again, really not knowing much of the songs that they were playing. There were songs where I was like, holy shit, I know that one, because they've been a band for so fucking long and have had so many hits. That's the fun thing about seeing bands like that, is being like, holy shit, I know that song. I always enjoy that. Even though I did listen to the set list ahead of time, I still retain nothing. And then last night, I saw Linkin Park in Paris, and I was honestly more excited to see Paris than I was to see Linkin Park. Because I was stoked as hell, on the new Linkin Park record, and then the Poppy album came out the same time, and I listened to the Poppy record more. I thought that the new Linkin Park record was good, and I left it at that. And I had these tickets to see Linkin Park 10 months later. And
I remember when you bought that, I was like,
and I was like, all right, this is a Paris show for me, and Linkin Park will just so happen to be there. I'm going to get to check them off the bucket list and, move on with my life. Are you okay over there, Glory?
There was something lumpy in my water, and it's just water. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to distract. I felt something in my mouth. I just cleaned this too, so I'm gonna put that to the side. That was not supposed to be like. No,
I would have thrown up if something lumpy was in, and you could have been talking about literally anything, like the most serious topic in the world, and I would have been throwing up in the corner, and you'd be like, dude, I'm pouring my heart out to you on stream right now.
What the fuck is happening, man? Don Broco.
Yeah.
Please continue.
But Paris, man, it was my second time seeing them, and the last time I saw them, I didn't get to catch the whole set at Sad Summer a couple years ago when they performed, also at PNC Bank Arts Center, funnily enough. But I had seen like half of it. I was really into them at the time. That was when that new record came out, and I was fucking stoked. Now getting to see them a few years later, got to catch the whole set. They, again, just like Jimmy Eat World, waste no fucking time. They go up there. They were able to play 10 songs in 30 minutes. Granted, Paris songs, for the most part, are not super long. They clock in around 2:30, 3 minutes at the most. So, it's not like they're these long ass songs, but still, to get 10 songs in 30 minutes is quite the feat. And I thought that, Linkin Park is doing a 360 stage, so they're selling the entire arena, besides a handful of seats that are completely obstructed by the various production things that they have. And I thought that, Paris luckily was given free reign of the stage, which doesn't always happen when an artist has a 360 stage like that. And I thought that they worked the stage very well. Lynn was walking around, moving her mic stand, wireless mic, obviously, to different parts of the stage for different songs. When she's not playing an instrument, she was walking around, engaging with the entire arena, which is good. I was afraid that it was just going to wind up their stuff placed in one corner because Linkin Park's production was all over the stage, but the stage was completely clear. It was just PVRIS, which I thought was cool. They absolutely ripped. I fucking love PVRIS. I didn't realize how much I liked PVRIS until I saw PVRIS again. I'm really quickly becoming a really big fan of PVRIS.
I thought you were already there, to be completely honest. Like, I associate that band with you. Like,
the thing is, I haven't really jammed them since that record came out, and I spent my time with it. But
such a big moment for you. It really, it was
like, life changing.
Yeah.
Because I was not a PVRIS fan before that.
No,
I did not think the last
awakening.
record was good, or the record before that one,
or the one before that one.
Yeah, so
moment.
yeah, it was very. It makes me want to go back and listen to them, which I've made a mental note. Like I said, I have a lot of shit coming up this week, a lot of shows that I have to prep for. But I got the mental note when things slow down for a little bit. Go bump some PVRIS for sure. Yep. I've had Dead Weight stuck in my head all fucking day. They played that last night. I've had that stuck in my head all day.
Yeah, it's a bug.
Yeah, and then Linkin Park came on after them. There was a 20-minute changeover, which I just walked the arena. I can't lie.
Honestly.
Yeah, I just walked the arena. I found French fries on the lower level. I inhaled those.
I fucking love arena French fries.
Yeah, I don't love how much I paid for them.
No, they're like $12. How much?
It was $8. But I also got this arena has Welch's fruit snacks. And I can't lie, I paid $8 for a bag of those as well. Long, big one. Yeah, big one. Still ridiculous.
No, it's crazy.
But yeah, big one. And I inhaled those. But I didn't have an aisle seat last night, so I didn't want to be stuck in between people during this changeover. So I just walked laps, got my steps in for the day.
There you go.
And Linkin Park was changing up their set list every night. I am not super well versed in Linkin Park. I like the most recent record. I know the hits. I've checked out some of the older stuff in an attempt to get into Linkin Park years ago when I was like getting into all the different bands that came up in that. It came up in that time. And I kind of stuck with Korn and Limp Bizkit and Slipknot, and Limp Bizkit actually came way later. So really Korn and Slipknot at that time, and didn't really understand Linkin Park and just kind of moved on to the ones I was getting. So I'm going in. I picked one of the set lists to study. I was like, fuck it.
Picked the wrong one.
And I somehow picked the right one. There was minor changes because there is every night, like no matter what, but the base set list will still change every night besides the hits, and I somehow picked the same one that they played in Brooklyn a few nights ago, and that was the one that they majority ran with. So I knew most of the songs they played. That is also the set list that favors the new record, which I know.
There you go.
So let me tell you, I went in thinking, I'm going to have an all right night. I'm going to see PVRIS. I'm going to get to check Linkin Park off my bucket list, and I'm going to move on with my life. And I'm going to get to see the hits, a couple of new songs, and move on, and it's going to be fine. And I had a great fucking time because I knew everything that they were playing up there.
The night was made for you.
Yes. I had a great time because, again, they favored that the new record. They played 7 or 8 songs off of there, which for a band of their caliber is not something that you see every day. Granted, I understand the whole vocalist change and everything, but when a band of that size tours a new record, they play one single and you move on. That's what the Offspring did. They called the tour the name of the record, and then they played one song off of that album, basically to acknowledge that the record came out at some point. Yeah. So that's unheard of. And then they obviously played all of the hits, and then I knew the other songs, most of the other songs that they played, because I studied the right set list. I had like a 1 in 3-ish chance of being right, and I just took a swing for it. And I
buy
did,
a lottery ticket.
Yeah.
And a million beers. Yeah.
And a million beers. So that's I had a great time. The tour is going on for like the rest of eternity. they also brought out Lynn from PVRIS. PVRIS isn't on the entire tour. They're just doing the first handful of dates, and that's a little bit longer on our Instagram story. If you're watching the live, it'll be gone by then, by the time this is uploaded. But PVRIS also shared it, which is pretty fucking cool. I texted Gloria, I was like, did you see this shit? She's like, oh, did I see this shit?
Dude, come on.
Yeah.
Life is worth living.
Life is
Never
worth living.
kill yourself.
But yeah, I had a great time. Coming up for me, I got potentially Night Rider on Wednesday. They're going to be in town doing like a weekender and hitting New Jersey. And then Friday I got the summer school tour. This is year 2. I'm excited. I like indoor festivals a lot. Even if my feet are going to hurt at the end of it, at least I'll be in the AC.
I was going to say,
Yep. Saturday I got My Chem Round 1 with Death Cab for Cutie, and Thursday at MetLife Stadium, which is the biggest possible stage you can play here in New Jersey. And the Kings of New Jersey, My Chemical Romance, will be performing there and bringing along their New Jersey brethren Thursday to join the party, which I'm excited for. And Sunday I got the Jonas Brothers also on the biggest stage in New Jersey, MetLife Stadium. They on the other hand have not sold it out. And it's
washed,
and it's looking like it's going to be a great night with the All-American Rejects and Marshmello. Yeah, it's going to be interesting.
Jump scare, what the fuck? I always forget. I get so excited about All-American Rejects, and it's like, and Marshmello.
It's gonna be interesting. And then in terms of tour news, there's not a ton yet because it's only Monday. But, you know, Thornhill announced last week that they dropped off that Landmarks tour, and now they got me wishing I bought Sleep Token tickets because they're touring with fucking Sleep Token. And, you know, we've had quite the tumultuous history with Sleep Token and our opinions on them. But there is no denying what Sleep Token tours have done for bands in the past. Look at Bill Murray. Bill Murray is at the top of his game now. So I am very excited for Sleep Token, or not for Sleep Token, that band, whatever. I'm very excited for Thornhill and to see what it does for them career-wise. And if anybody has a spare Philly ticket, Philadelphia, I need to see Thornhill on the big stage. I just saw them in a 500 cap room a few months ago, and now I need to see them in arena.
Congratulations to Thornhill. That's a big deal. Choice of band is questionable, but I get it. But it's huge. It's very big. I can acknowledge and applaud. It's a big fucking deal.
It is.
I just don't like Sleep Token.
I got a whole review on the channel that I can link you that says otherwise. You really like that record, but
I don't like the band though. I don't like them. And also that fucking lead single sucked ass. It still sucks ass. I hear it every time I visit my friend. I love her. She loves the song and it always plays. And I go, Jesus fucking Christ, it's Sleep Token. She's like, I'm sorry, I love this song. I'm like, yeah. You're lucky I love you.
Yeah. And on that Landmarks tour now is Novelists. They replaced Thornhill, which we had Novelists on the podcast.
We had Thornhill on the podcast.
I also had Thornhill on the podcast about their most recent record.
We did not have Sleep Token on the podcast.
No, we also didn't have Landmarks to chat about their most recent record. But we had the two, the previous direct support band and now the current direct support band, both on a podcast this year to chat about their new albums. Silly Goose and Resolve are also on that bill. The frontman of Silly Goose got arrested for the during one of their gas station pop-up performances.
No!
He has since been freed. He's a free man. They're posting about it and obviously using it for promotion, which is as they should, rightfully so. Cash in on that. But yeah, that's a great tour. I'm very upset that that's not coming to Philly, because with Thornhill or with Novelist, that bill's fantastic. So you know, if that tour is coming near you, highly recommend. And again, if someone's got an extra Sleep Token ticket for Philly, bang my line. I need to see Thornhill. We got plenty of albums to chat about. An album's worth of singles. Thank you, Hayley Williams, and a handful of singles. This was a weird week where it was.
Weird. I'd never do it again.
It was an album heavy week, and then only a handful of singles, which is it's just a weird feeling. Typically, when it's an album heavy week, there's also enough singles to make me regret listening to the playlist. That did not happen this week. But kicking it off, Fit for a King dropped their new album, Lonely God. I'm a big fan of Fit for a King. I have been for a while, since we kind of found them with The Path. That record blew me the hell away. And they've just been continuing to blow me away. They've also been continuing to grow. They're at the top of their game right now. This tour they're about to head out on is the biggest rooms they've headlined, which is very exciting. That tour's got Make Them Suffer, 156 Silence, and Spite. So if that's going near you, highly recommend. I will be there in Philly. That's quite the lineup. This record is phenomenal. This is a step up from what the band has done previously, which I didn't know that they could possibly do. And they're just crushing it. The way this record opens with Begin the Sacrifice is exactly how I love my metalcore records to open. I don't want every single one to open like this because it's going to eventually like kind of ruin it for me, but it's giving like similar vibes to what Wage War did with Stigma. Similar kind of opening vibes. And I love the way that record opens. The first two songs on that album are phenomenal. And Begin the Sacrifice, I tried not to spend a shitload of time with this as a single because it was, but it's one of the strongest songs on the record. It's clear why it was a single, but it continues to blow me away. The Temple as that follow up to that is phenomenal as well. Extinction is heavy as shit, gnarly. No Tomorrow makes sense in the number 4 spot. It was a confusing single to me because it's like a clean, very Octane-esque song, clean chorus, big, anthemic, whatever. We get that on every record like this at this point, which is fine. Check the box. The song is solid, but it's not a favorite of mine because I think that there's so many really heavy, brutal songs on this album that I just much rather listen to because that's what I'm here for. Maliath with Alpha Wolf is what a feature pull. Gotta love Alpha Wolf and Lockie sounding phenomenal on this track. The title track, Lonely God, is absolutely just skull crushing. Technium with The Plot in You, again, holy fuck, that was a single that's been a single for a minute, and that's just wow, holy shit. And then Witness the End with Chris Motionless from Motionless in White is
great track placement. I love when bands do that shit.
Yes. Is just an epic closer to this record. It was a bit of a confusing single because although I do think the track stands on its own, I think it does a very, very nice job of wrapping up the record and fits and makes a lot more sense and sounds better, and context of the album and all that is a better song after listening to the entire record, and then getting to close off with this. Chris sounds phenomenal on the song. I've heard some people kind of compare his vocals to Creature's era Motionless, which I can hear.
That's a big compliment.
Because he gets pretty gnarly with the vocals, and I appreciate that. And also because it just popped up in my head, special shout out to Sentient as well. But there is just so many songs on this record that are incredible, and I could shout every single one out because they all stand on their own as phenomenal songs. As a record, this is a phenomenal album. And again, these features just prove it's just kind of like the victory lap of look at where the band is, because not only is the record incredible and very, very strong, but then the features to go alongside it, it's like, just look at us. We got Alpha Wolf, we got The Plot in You, and Chris Motionless from Motionless in White on the record. Goddamn. I fucking love this album.
I was gonna say, so someone really liked it. I'm 100%, 110% with you. I think this record is absolutely incredible. This was the first record on the playlist, first full record on the playlist. So it queuing up, the anticipation was there. I was very excited. I have the memory of a goldfish when it comes to singles on albums that I'm not necessarily not anticipating, but just kind of like I'm excited when I listen to it and then I kind of forget about it. So I couldn't tell you which one of these songs are singles, especially if you're saying they've been rolling this out for a while. There were a lot of tracks that were put out. It's all just new to me, except for the Chris Motionless feature, which is a standout. And I remember they made a cute little Instagram post about it, so
Mhm.
that's just forever ingrained in my mind of them just being awkward and cute, and I love them.
That post was so fucking awkward.
Isn't it cute? They're so cute. I love them. So they're like 30-year-old men, and I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, that's fucking 2016 again. Okay, so I love this album. It's a bit so let me get the good parts out, then my critiques, and then finish it up. So, good parts. I think that it flows incredibly well. I think the sound is consistent while still bringing in nice little ear candy, nice little riffs, just catchy little things that kind of make your ears perk up in every song. I think they hit that mark very well. Um, I think that all of the features are genuinely A tier. It's like they made this shit for us. What do you mean there's an Alpha Wolf and Plot and You feature?
And
Motionless White, I
Emotionless and White
respect.
feature.
Motionless and White, I respect. I like them, but Alpha Wolf and Plot and You are just so topical for me right now.
And Motionless and White.
And Motionless and White. So topical for me right now. Like, I've only been listening to Alpha Wolf and the Plot and You recently. Like,
And Don
that's like,
Broco.
and Don Broco. But they're not here. So if Don Broco, can you imagine? Take the album back. Try again. Try Rob Damiani feature and Matt Donnelly feature on every single one of these tracks.
On
Do
every
that.
single one is
Every
crazy.
single one. Then it's a 10 out of 10. So, the features are incredible. Monolith with, Lockie from Alpha Wolf, I think is insane. I love Lockie's vocals. I think they are, I honestly, I'm gonna say it. For a second, I thought it was the Chris Motionless feature because I didn't look at it. But then, like, it went for like maybe like 5 seconds longer, and I went, "Oh my God, that's Lockie." Okay, cool. So they do have a lot of similarities. It's kind of that nastier, blech type of like snarly, like screech that he has when he's screaming, singing, whatever you want to call it. I really don't know what the fuck to say about that. I don't know how you want to classify that. So I don't know if we spoke about influences in the interview that we did. We interviewed Lucky from Alpha Wolf about their most recent album. You can go check it out if you want. It was really good. But I was hearing similarities. And I think that's fucking awesome because again, I love Motionless White. I think they're great, but it's like Alpha Wolf I'm into. The Plot in You again is very topical for me right now. I'm obsessed with their Volumes collection right now. Incredible vocalist. A great song. That's Technicum. Witness the End, great closer. So those are the featured tracks, all 10 out of 10. Genuinely, I believe that those, like, there's nothing wrong with those songs at all. I really enjoyed the title track. I did like how it opened with Begin the Sacrifice, The Temple, Extinction. Then when it comes to No Tomorrow and Shelter, to me, it's still good. It's still upbeat. It doesn't necessarily slow the album down, but it confuses me because it's two very octane core songs next to each other. After three crazy opening tracks, then they just toss in like the most like radio friendly tracks ever,
Gotta put
and
it
then they just
somewhere.
pick it right back up again. You got to put it somewhere, but it's like space them out a bit, you know? It's almost like they said, here, just take your medicine now, and then you can have like dessert for the rest of the album, you know? Just get it over with, basically. Not to discount the songs at all. I still think No Tomorrow and Shelter are catchy. I think they are the messages are good, solid, but it just feels very easy to listen to, you know?
Mhm.
Which is fine. It's good. Everyone deserves their radio moment, and I would love that for them, especially at the rate that they're growing now. This would blow them up. It would be great. All that to say, I think the record's fucking phenomenal. Really, that's my only complaint is saying, yeah, these are a little poppier than the rest of the record. But they still fit. And it was still good, and it didn't fuck up the flow too bad. It just kind of made me go, what the fuck's happening? What happened to this record? It's like, please don't tell me this is the rest of the record, you know? I liked it a lot. My personal favorite is Monolith with Alpha Wolf because I love Alpha Wolf. And I feel like he had the most presence, I guess notable presence on the track. I feel like he was on it the most compared to the Plot in You and Chris Motionless feature. I don't know. I felt like it was like a 50-50 where the rest was maybe like 75-25. I don't know. Or I just fuck with Alpha Wolf. I just fucking sue me, okay?
We know.
Anyways.
Like I said at the beginning of the review, they're currently on tour in Europe, and they're going to be touring the US later this year. massive headline run with support for Make Them Suffer, Spite, and 156 Silence. Absolutely peeped those dates. That's one hell of a lineup. I was holy shit when that went up. So definitely peep the dates. I'll be there for sure.
Dwayne dropped his new album June. So we've been following Dwayne for years. I couldn't tell you. Probably 2021.
2021 is when the first record came out.
See. Great record. I did enjoy that one. I enjoyed his follow-up, which was My Favorite Blue Jeans. Fucked with that one as well. This record definitely takes a turn. We were talking about it before. I really don't want to steal your flow, so I'm going to let you say what you said about his approach and his evolution. So I'm not just stealing your shit and then you're like, well, you just took everything I said. Credit where credit is due, bro.
Well, thank you. I would have just taken it and been like, Gloria and I talked about this. So I'm going to take her words now.
She's a fucking liar.
But yeah, we were chatting about this ahead of time because we were just kind of going over the list and everything, and we were like, oh, new Dwayne, what'd you think? We typically don't do that, but we did, and I really have appreciated his artistic evolution. Like Gloria said, we've been following along since the beginning. Got a little attention when Waterparks took Dwayne out on tour. That's when we became aware of him, and then we followed along with Perfume, which features Austin Knight, and then Stains, which has that record, has that song on that record, and then My Favorite Blue Jeans kind of just came out of nowhere a year later, but that had a lot of great features on it. Grandson, I don't know how about They Found Me, that again grabbed our attention, but we were already sold on the Dwayne train, and then it kind of just got very silent in the Dwayne camp, and he appeared back, signed to PVRIS, put out some singles that kind of culminated into a small EP at the tail end of last year, and then jumped into this album cycle once those songs were out at the top of this year, with the album cycle for June, which ironically enough came out at the end of July, which I do like that. I think that's funny. But as Gloria kind of hinted to with the artistic evolution, I've just liked how everything has consistently evolved with Dwayne. The sound has not stayed stagnant on any of the records. The first record was this very like bright sounding album pretty much across the board. The second record was a little bit more, it was the same like similar like sound, but a darker take on that. The tone of the record felt a lot darker, even just with the cover art being a darker tone, kind of just elevated that feeling I got from that album. I did not leave that record feeling happy-go-lucky at all. Just and listen, he could have been talking about the happiest shit ever, but the way I interpreted the record, the vibes of that record were on the darker side. And then this album, kind of coming at it with like an 80s inspired kind of feel, both in sonics and also like literal style and fashion that he's going for.
Say, like the cover art, the fashion.
I really dig it. And he just keeps us on our toes, keeps everybody on their toes, not just Gloria and I. I think I would hope more people are picking up what we're putting down as well. But it just makes for a fun listen through his discography, and I really appreciate that. It also showcases his range and what he's able to accomplish, because he kind of hinted at this sonic change with these with the singles that culminated in that small EP that I was talking about before this album came out, where Gloria and I were both kind of like, what is going on? What is this? Is not really the Dwayne that we remember, but it was kind of like that middle ground into this sound, which has been met with open arms from Gloria and I, because we had the little bit of like what the fuck moment before the album cycle started. I like the way it opens with Lady Lady. I really like Highway Robbery. That was a single for a reason. That is a standout on the album for sure. That record, I keep calling the singles records. That song is huge. The chorus is massive. It's very catchy. Forever featuring I Don't Know How About They Found Me, second time with Dallin and I Don't Know How About They Found Me on a Dwayne record second album in a row, and I'm not complaining. because I think
It
that
fits.
them as a pairing just works so well. And this is yet again another standout song on the record. I also think Prize Fight is very, very strong. And What Does He Really Know? I like those three songs right there. That's my favorite portion of the record. But I just think that overall, this is a really solid, really catchy album. And Dwayne really pulled off this aesthetic and style for sure.
Absolutely. I mean, I think it fits his overall vibe. I think it fits his style. The world and the auditory world that he's creating with this is so fucking fun. I love the topics of some of these tracks. I mean, it's very kind of like there are a lot of love tracks on here, which makes me very happy. I don't know. I just the feature with I Don't Know How But They Found Me is definitely my favorite track because I feel like Dallin, his vocals in this kind of category, this genre, this era, is the best possible thing to fucking happen. And I have been praying for him to return to this genre, but he hasn't since their debut EP. Come home. We love that you're going and trying. This is where you belong. Please. Your voice is perfect for this. Anyways.
Shout out Gloom Division though, and Razzmatazz, and 1981 extended play.
Now you're onto something. Now you're onto something. Let's talk about that. I really enjoy Lady Lady. I really love What Does He Know? What Does He Really Know? Fuck. I honestly, in the context of the album, I was hesitant with it when it first came out as a single. Highway Robbery, I fuck with the vibe. I'm picking up what he's putting down.
It.
Exactly, because, that's why it's very hard for me sometimes to, unless I'm incredibly, like, I know this artist's discography and I've already spent hours with their catalog, Don Broco, it's hard for me to review singles sometimes because it's like, this could be good, but in the 2-3 times that I listen to it, it's still not enough time. I need to sit with the artist, not just this one song, but sit with the artist for like 10 minutes, then get to that track and then continue on. So it gives me it's like a little taster palette. It's like, oh shit, okay, I liked that. Oh, we're moving on to something else. Well, I'm still thinking of this one. And then it's just hop, skipping and jumping, Fuck, man. So in the context of the record, I think Highway Robbery, it is a standout. I think it's incredible. I really like it. It's that vibe. I fuck with it heavy. But my personal all-time favorite off the record is Forever. I love the vibe of this entire record. It's very nostalgic. It's very throwback. It's incredible. I think he fucking nailed it.
Agreed.
No notes. No notes.
Hell yeah. Fox Lake dropped their new album, New World Heat. We chatted with Brandon from the band. It is out now. It came out on Friday alongside the release of the record. I'll let Glory take this one because she was raving to me about this when we did the interview.
Dude, okay. This record is so fucking fun, okay? If you like, I'm gonna say it. If you like Don Broco, if you like Limp Bizkit, yeah, fucking sue me, okay? So yeah, but I reeled you back in with the Limp Bizkit drop, okay? If you like Silly Goose, but if you like when they do their heavier shit, if you heard like Cellophane by Don Broco and you were like, I wish there was more of this, but like a little heavier, this is the band that you need to fucking listen to. They mesh together that new metal with the metalcore so fucking well. I think that they have the balance perfectly. It has super heavy moments with features like Avoid, with fucking Silent Planet, Mugshot, Eyes of Salt. Let's talk about Silent Planet. Let's talk about Avoid. Holy shit, So they are bringing in artists that thrive in the heavy environment and then adding their twist to it. Fucking incredible. I don't know where to fucking start with this record. I think Freestyle's incredible. Honestly, the first half of the record is insane. Let me tell you about the second half. It's even better. It feels like I'm just glazing for like no reason, but genuinely, off first listen, as Shane said, I was raving about this shit. It has such high energy. It feels new. It feels fresh, but still very familiar and still easy to digest and kind of as I said, I was able to attach fucking Limp Bizkit, Don Broco to it because it's, two bands I'm very familiar with. Don Broco more than Bizkit, but I mean, everyone fucking knows Limp Bizkit. But it's not them. It's not like, oh, I've heard this before. It's like, oh, that kind of sounds familiar, but damn, this fucks. You know? I hope that's a good review. I hope that makes someone want to listen to it because this shit fucks. It is incredible, and I think they nailed it. Silent Planet feature is my personal favorite. My second favorite would be Freestyle, which is another feature. I just think Garrett from Silent Planet, his screams, literally, you could like fart on a mic and then add like Garrett's screams over it, and I'd be like, fucking album of the year. It's a single, and it's my album of the year. Flawless, perfect, beautiful, great record. I love it.
That's quite the review. I really dig this record. What I picked up from it today when I was listening through it again, vocal delivery kind of feels like, and this is a wild pull, Afterlife, which is a band I have not thought about in an instant, in a minute, but the vocal, not in terms of instrumentals. One is a straight up metalcore band. The other is, hardcore metalcore, new metal kind of hybrid with Fox Lake. But in terms of the vocal delivery, kind of feels the same way to me. And that was one thing where I was like, God damn, I haven't listened to or heard from Afterlife in a minute. This is kind of scratching that itch that band left. But I totally get behind all of the, for fans of that you gave as well. I agree with those wholeheartedly. The features on this record are absolutely insane. Mugshot, Avoid, and Silent Planet are three absolutely insane pulls. And those, like, just three bands that right now are all popping in various different ways, but all of these bands in one way or another are popping, have some hype behind them. And to have those bands on this record, I was flabbergasted by, because the first time I heard this record, the features, they weren't listed on what we listened to. I had no fucking idea. I listened to the album and I was just like, all right, there's other voices on here, but I don't know who the fuck. Even though I should, because I'm a Silent Planet and a Void fan, so that's my bad. But let me tell you, when I put this record on the playlist Friday morning and I saw the fucking features, I was like,
oh, that makes
God
sense.
damn. God damn, that's wild. And yeah, I did hear those. But I love Headshot, which has Silent Planet. I love Freestyle, which has Avoid. I'm not the biggest fan of the way the record opens. I think the song is solid, but personally for me, what grabs my attention is Tough Luck, which is one of my favorites off the record as well. I just think that accomplishes more as an opener than necessarily For the Love of the Game. Although I do like the way that For the Love of the Game opens with the snippet before the song kicks in. That's a nice touch. I like the way it closes with Excessive Damage. Halftime, that's a really fun, like, interlude type track. Slows things down for a second before they absolutely kick your teeth in with pure adrenaline. But that's basically what this record is. To quote one of the songs off the record, it just goes for the throat. Honestly, for the entire 30 minutes or so that this record is on, it just consistently is gut checking you. Another reference to the album I'm So Punny Tonight. Another, just keeps gut checking you and going for the throat, which that's the cold hard truth. And it's the cold hard truth that this is all for the love of the game. That was Tough Luck.
Oh, I see. Yeah, that's okay. Hayley Williams. Do you have anything else to say?
Yeah. I'll stop trying to be funny.
Thank you.
But yeah, I just think that this album is really solid and blew me away. They're going to be on tour, they're headlining, and then jumping into a tour supporting Hillhaven off the back of their upcoming record, which again I'm very excited for. So this band is going to be touring all over the place. Peep those dates. I'm sure they're hitting a city near you. The headliner wasn't, now they are with Hillhaven. So if they weren't hitting a city near you, now they might be. So peep them.
People. Hayley Williams dropped her album collection of singles With no
There's no
group
name.
name, it's just like what, 14 tracks?
There's 17 singles that came out all on Friday, and they were released all as singles. You know, one thing with Hayley Williams and her solo project is she doesn't fit the mold. She doesn't do the norm, which is fine. It's her solo project. You do what you want.
Yeah,
it annoys the ever-living fuck out of you and I every time, and we talk about it, and we still reference the way that Petals for Armor, the first one, was
so bad,
was released. You know, and we're gonna leave it at that. But you know, I did see her share on Instagram a fan theory about why the presumably album was released this way, and it's because it's kind of like there's no track listing order, which, you know what, that's fine. And assuming she shared that is presumably part of the reason why she did this. That is fine. I don't care. There doesn't have to be a track listing order, but why do I gotta make it? Why do I got to do it? I don't want to have to do it.
You're just lazy?
Yeah, I just put these in the playlist the way that they came up on my Spotify in that order, and I left it at that. Yeah, releasing aside, so interesting, so different. I almost would be less upset if she just did a single a week for 17 weeks. That would have
piss me off.
That would honestly be better, because you know, for me, like, I don't know, just like being thrown all of these songs and it not being in any sort of flow and having to try to figure out my own way to listen to it has made it hard for me to kind of retain the information, because it's information overload, and then it is not filtered in any sort of way in terms of the way the artist wants me to consume it. So I am having a hard time with that, but I did the best I could to listen to the collection in the way that they were put on my Spotify, because now the focus track is completely like the latest single is different than the one that was on there on Friday. So I don't fucking know. I don't like this release plan at all. But I digress. I had to take notes because of this. It's normally all up here, but the different cover arts and all that shit, it's all throwing me off. Everything about this is throwing me off. We have been highly critical of Hayley Williams' solo project up until this point, and I'm sure that's going to continue with this. Gloria and I did not talk about our thoughts on this much. We just kind of both agreed that the rollout for this sucked. I sent it to her because it popped up, you know, the day before, you know, on different, you know, different regions, and I was like, she's doing this, and you're like, god damn, you know,
what is her problem?
Yeah, like why
She's crazy.
But, you know, that aside, like I said, we've been highly critical. I liked Petals for Armor for the most part. There were parts of that record that I don't enjoy, but there were chunks of that album that I really did enjoy. Were different styles and things like that I haven't seen Hayley Williams do in the past. The second record, though, which was Flowers for Vases, not a fan of that one. It is just the slowest parts of Petals for Armor in an album and presented to us, and I'm not a fan because it just doesn't feel like the record goes anywhere, and yada yada yada. Have not even remotely touched that album since we chatted about it on here. I could not wait to not listen to that record again. I was so not a fan of that. This is probably the most like cohesive sonically that Hayley has sounded, because she's doing some things off of Petals for Armor, she's doing some things off of Flowers for Vases, she's doing some Paramore, and it's the most cohesive the project's ever been, which I appreciate, because there's a bunch of moments throughout this record, single collection, whatever it is, which I hate. I hate the fact that I can't label it, but that's part of the marketing, which is fine. There are plenty of songs on here that I do enjoy because of that fact. It is my biggest worry was that we were going to get this, and then it was going to be a bunch of indie pop, slow shit, like this project has done in the past, and there's obviously moments for that on the record. I'm calling it a record, but there's plenty of moments that aren't. My favorite song is the one I can't pronounce. Mirtazapine, that's what I'm going with for this song, is my favorite off the record. This is quite possibly one of my favorite songs that Hayley has done for her solo project entirely. Can I pronounce the name of it? Hell no. Do I think that the song absolutely rocks? Absolutely. I also really think that Hard is another phenomenal song. That's number 2 for me. But I you know, if someone asks me my favorite song, that one is my favorite, because I don't know how to really say the other one. Gonna have to listen to the song a few hundred times to get down her pronunciation.
Really out,
you know, the word's probably not that hard to say. I'm just illiterate.
No, couple it's okay. Me too. I couldn't correct you, so we're both fine.
Couple of other songs I like are "Love Me Different" and "Kill Me" as well. You know, there's just songs on here that have more of a rocky element, which are the ones I mentioned for the most part. And I just think that she actually like mission accomplished this time around with the project, in my opinion. Because there's still experimentation, which I want her to do. I want her to experiment and try different things. That's what I like about Petals for Armor. There are songs on that record that I like because of how experimental they are, and we'll never hear her do that in the context of the main project Paramore. And then there's times where the experimentation gets out of hand, or she does something for the sake of doing it. Flowers for Vases, which I'm good on that ever again. Some other songs, Negative Self-Talk, I thought was interesting, although be it on the slower side. Ice in My OJ is cool. Ego Death at a Bachelorette Party is cool. I've seen a lot of people sharing that one. That seems to be a favorite amongst the people. Glum is a perfect example of a more experimental track. With you know, the synthesizers and the vocators and all of those interesting effects on the vocals and things like that. Brotherly,
you did take notes for this. This is awesome.
My notes were the four songs. That was it. Everything else is still up here.
Damn.
I just had to write down favorites because I knew, looking at it with all the different cover arts, there's too much going on on our Spotify here. It's totally different when it's all one cover art. I'm somehow easily able to pick it out versus and Brotherly Hate and Blood Bros are some standouts as well. I'm thoroughly impressed by this one. I didn't think I was going to talk as highly about this as I expected to, because again, there was zero expectations for this going in. I was just like, oh boy, Hayley Williams is putting out new solo music. The last one left me with this really sour feeling, and we left it at that. But there are plenty of tracks that I'm going to walk away from this enjoying. I hope at some point there's a track list somewhere, whether I have to do it myself or it comes out in a full body form, that I can go consume this. But like I said, plenty of tracks on here that I enjoy.
There you go. So I agree. I think this record is way better than Petals for Armor or fucking Vase, whatever the fuck.
Flowers
I'm not.
Vases.
You don't even gotta. No, it's okay.
Album sucks.
Album sucks, so it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Fucking poops for poops is what I would call it, you know? And you know what I'm talking about.
I do.
Yeah, exactly. So I think I completely agree. I think it's the most cohesive body of work, even though it's not a body of work. We made it into a body of work because what the fuck? You know, that it just like I could say a couple things about the record, but it's just the rollout itself is what is so prominent in my head when I think about this record. It's not the actual contents of it, it's how it was delivered. And to me, a rollout is so important, and it helps me digest shit sometimes. It gives me a little taster. You deserve a little taster if you're dropping a fucking 17 track record, you know? But she just dropped the 17 tracks separately. No track listing, no nothing, just 17 singles. Have fun, you know, eat children, and that's fucking it. So going through the record, I mean, there was no flow, there was no story. Well, I mean, there's like a couple consistencies in the tracks of kind of what I picked up on was like falling out of love or relationship issues or switching it up, life getting weird, losing yourself. That's kind of what I picked up on the record, quote unquote. So I think that's cool, that even in a fucked up lineup, there's still consistency. There's still harmony in the Discord.
Yeah.
So I think that's cool as fuck. Just shows that she's a good writer. And there was some thought and effort, or at least the timing on this was correct
Mhm.
for this record. It wasn't just I've had songs from 8 years ago and songs from a week ago, and they're all talking about 50 different fucking things,
And I
but
want to put them out as singles on Friday.
for no fucking, why not? It seems like there was actually some planning to this and, writing schedules or whatever. So I think that's awesome. And I think that's cool. And I appreciate that. Um, True Believer is the song that I've seen a lot of people talking about. I think it's fine. Lyrically, it's sang a lot.
Mhm.
She's speaking on obviously fucking racism in the South and just hypocrites and shit like that. I think it's very powerful that she's using her platform in that way. Um, I don't know if I think it's a little corny because it is so on the nose, or if it's just because it's so on the nose that my brain is like, damn, you can get like a little creative with it. But it's like, do you need to be creative if you're talking about something like that? Sometimes it's just better to just be blunt about it. So, major respects. I thought the song was fine. Um, Sonically, it's not doing too much. It's a very simple melancholy song because I don't expect it to be like fucking pop beats like throwing this shit
Yeah.
back like no, she's talking about some crazy shit, so listen. um I really like I Won't Quit on You. I really like Ego Death at a bachelorette party. I understand why that's the big one. I like Dream Girl and Shibuya. Discovery Channel, she's horny as shit. And I don't listen to Paramore like that, so I don't know if that's like a consistent thing. That shit fucks. Good song. I think it's awesome. And I also liked Blood Bros. Overall, I think the record was fine. I just think like it's a little too dramatic. The rollout was a little too dramatic for what's on here.
Yeah.
It's like she's respectfully like she's not doing anything like groundbreaking on this record. So what's like what's the whole
What's the
thing?
need
What's it
for
about?
17 singles and no sense of direction in terms of how to
Yeah.
listen to them?
Yeah.
No, I get that.
So that's,
Um,
yeah, I think it's fine.
yeah, perfectly fine. Return to Dust dropped their new EP, Speak Like the Dead. We've been following along with Return to Dust since the very beginning. Now they just put out their major label debut on Republic Records, which is so wild, and they're about to be going out on tour with 3 Days Grace and Breaking Benjamin. They're going to be supporting that run, so peep the dates. I will probably be there in New Jersey. Keyword probably. I don't have my tickets yet. But
TBD.
very excited for a Return to Dust and all the success that has come over the past couple of years. This EP is just a continuation of the sound that we found on the debut record, which had portions of the EP that we did the first interview about. So they've all just kind of been building into this sound, and I just love that they continue to hone in on this 90s grunge hard rock sound revival kind of thing that they're going for, and they just keep honing in and refining it and getting better with every single new output that we get from them. I think that the singles off this record are absolute standouts. Shine and Bored are absolute standouts. They're singles for a reason. Disarray is a really solid track. Downfall is on the slower side. We don't always hear the band in this kind of way, which is really, really cool. I do love the big guitar driven drums fucking rock band type shit that we get from this band most of the time, but I think when they strip it back, there's a lot to be said, because it really shows how strong of a band they are. Their songwriting and their lyricism abilities get to really shine, again, no pun intended, when they do that. So I do like that song. Summer Rain and Abyss are both solid as well. Summer Rain is my favorite non-single of the record for sure. I think that song really stands out, but overall I just think that this band absolutely crushed it with this EP, and I'm excited to see them and where this thing is going to take them, considering they're going to be going out with in arenas with 3 Days Grace and Breaking Ben this fall in support of this.
I thought that this EP was solid as fuck. I mean, I'm happy that they finally have this shiny bright, new.
We're so punny tonight.
It's so good. It's so good. I love this for us. I love this for us. They have this new shiny record for everyone to listen to with this new audience that they're going to fucking dominate. It's gonna be awesome. I really have no critiques for this record. I think it's incredible. I think you're right. The standout tracks are definitely the singles. Downfall I did enjoy a lot, and I really did enjoy Abyss as well. Fuck, they got their sound. They're running with it. Immediately, as soon as it went on, I was like, oh, this is Return to Dust.
Mm-hmm.
So that's awesome. I love being able to identify bands that I'm not super familiar with in the sense that I listen to them like on the daily, that I can immediately kind of click and go, oh, is that so and so? Fucking easy shit. Big fan of this EP. I thought it was great, and huge big ups. They're doing great.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. Fleshwater dropped their new single Jetpack.
I thought this was really solid. This kicks off their upcoming record, dropping later this fall. And I just thought that the song was really solid. I've heard a lot about Fleshwater over the past 6 months or so, honestly, and I figured now is no better time than now to hop in and see what the band's up to. I haven't really checked them out up until this point. I thought the song was good, deserving of the hype the band's gotten thus far, and I'm excited for this record.
I was gonna say, who the fuck is that?
Exactly.
Yeah, I liked this a lot. It reminds me a lot of Holy Water, which is the band that I was like, no, listen, they're good, and then they put out a good song. I don't know what the Coachella track was about. I'm not the band, but I'm sorry for that release, guys. I don't know what that was. That was an accident. This song reminds me of Holy Water. It's that, woozy, fucking kind of droning rock type where it just feels smoky and it feels dark. And I love that shit. It's like not gothic, but like the appearance of gothic. I don't know. It's what I thought goth music sounded like before I learned that it was like not what everyone thinks it is. I liked it a lot. Yeah, I would say I liked it a lot. Yeah.
Hell yeah. We Came as Romans dropped their new single, Where Did You Go? I thought that this was a weird single off of the upcoming record, not because it's a weird track. I think it's perfectly fine and makes sense as a single in terms of the sonics of the song, but they're not playing it live. They're playing a handful of the unreleased tracks live currently, and I would have assumed they would have picked one of those as the next single, considering they're currently on a tour promoting the record that comes out in a couple of weeks. That one of those songs would have been the single. That's my only confusion. The song itself is solid. I'm really excited for this upcoming record. All the songs thus far have been great. The songs I heard live that aren't out yet are really solid as well. And overall, I think that this record's shaping up to be phenomenal. But that's my only what the fuck.
Yeah, that's fair. I wasn't the biggest fan of this track. I don't know. It was slow. It was kind of weird. Not my vibe per se. But all hope is not lost. I do enjoy Wakar. Fuck, it looks so much better than it comes out. It
does.
I really like them, so I'm not worried. I'm not worried at all. I See Stars dropped their new single Eliminator. I thought this fucked. I liked it a lot. I mean, it was upbeat. It kept the fucking vibe going. Vocals were crazy. Liked it a lot.
Yeah. I wholeheartedly agree. They finally announced their upcoming record. This band came back a few years ago, and they finally announced their upcoming record. It drops in September. All of those previous singles will be on the record, which has been a point of contention online. People complaining because this rollout started a few years ago, quite literally. But it's finally time for a new I See Stars record. I thought that the song was solid. I thought all of the singles thus far have been really good. It's nothing like what they had done previously, but I don't expect them to. It's not 2010 anymore. And I think people have kind of gotten over that, which is good. I didn't like when the singles first started rolling out for what is now a record a couple of years ago. People were like, this isn't the I See Stars that left us a handful of years ago and hasn't put out anything since. And no, they've grown, they've matured, and it's also now a different climate sonically than it was when they left. If they came back doing the same thing, you'd probably be laughing at them. That stuff is great as a time capsule, and if and a modern band doing it makes sense with certain types of marketing, but if they were just going to come back and pick up like no time was lost. A lot of time's been lost since then. So I am glad to see that there's been less and less of that conversation as the rollout for this has gone on further, because it always makes me almost want to jump in on the online discourse, but I stop myself every time to kind of be like, why? No, stop.
Use your heads.
Yeah. Dying Wish dropped their new single, I'll Know You're Not Around. They have announced their upcoming record, which I did not expect to get new Dying Wish so soon. And the standalone single that we got earlier this year that coincided with the Spirit Box tour is not on the album. That is officially just a standalone track. This is the first single, the lead single for the album, which is interesting. But in a world where bands, several years worth of singles, and then it all culminates into a record that announces several years later, I See Stars and Falling in Reverse, it's refreshing to see a band like Dying Wish put out a standalone track and then just kind of kick things off. Same thing with Signs of the Swarm. They put out that standalone track at the end of last year, and that song is not on the record, even though that song did very well for them.
Just a little treat.
I thought the song absolutely rips. Going back to Dying Wish, this song absolutely fucking rips. I am so excited to see where this album takes this band, because I think that the move with the last record going for a bit more mass appeal absolutely paid off for them. So I think that this record's just going to be a continuation of that and kind of see what else they conquer moving ahead.
Damn straight. This song was fucking bonkers. It feels like a fucking whirlwind. It's such a tornado of sound and screams and fucking it's insane. I think this song is incredible. If the record sounds anything like this, I will be very happy. If it sounds like anything else, I enjoy some Dying Wish, so I'll be happy no matter what. But this song has me very excited for future Dying Wish.
Agreed.
Damn straight. Charlotte Sands dropped her new single Neck Deep. Hell yeah, this song fucked. I mean, dude, Charlotte Sands really has never let us down. I mean, she's like all reliable right now, even though like she's not like, older in the scene. She's pretty fucking new still, considering all the other bands that we're covering right now. So the fact that she is this consistent with really good fucking would this be considered pop punk?
Yeah, pop punk, all
pop punk tracks, pop tracks.
Pop.
Yeah, pop rock. Either way, she's got the genre down. She can conquer any other genre as she's shown before. This is no surprise to me.
Yeah, like Lori said, it's kind of becoming an old reliable in a sense of like Charlotte Sands on the playlist. We know it's going to rock. We always listen to it, but we could probably do the review without listening to the song, and it would be the same thing whether we listen to it or not, because it's just consistently very solid. She knows how to write a chorus, which is what I love. I'm finally getting to see her for the first time in years. I saw her. We had just interviewed her. Then that song kind of started to blow up. She wound up on a handful of the Sad Summer dates. I happened to have tickets to one of the ones she was going to be performing at. And I haven't seen her since then, despite all of the touring and everything that she's done. I just haven't I haven't seen her. It's never lined up. She's not supporting the right tour. The headline, winds up being on a date I Have Something Else, or too many of Philly trips in a row. So she'll be in my state at something I'm going to be at, which I'm very excied to finally see her. It's been a while. And the song absolutely rips. She's playing it live, so I'm excited to hear this one live.
That's good. Hell yeah.
Finger 11 and Filter dropped their new single, Blue Sky Mystery. Finger 11 has announced their upcoming record. It drops in November. They're touring this fall, co-headlining with Alien Ant Farm, which is what a bill. That tour, Alien Ant Farm and Finger 11 and Seether and Daughtry are coming to New Jersey on the same day. Seether and Daughtry are co-headlining together, and Finger 11 and Alien Ant Farm are touring together.
Aww.
And my girlfriend and I are currently trying to pick which show we're going to go to, because we're both fans of dad rock and 90s hard rock, and that's a really tough decision, because all of those bands all came up at the same time, and Finger 11 is back to new music. They signed a huge deal with Better Noise, and we're finally starting to see the production from that deal, the music coming out of it, and I think that the song's really solid. It's not every day where a band that's been doing it as long as Finger 11 in a genre like Finger 11 is in, where the music is solid. Sometimes it's just kind of like, all right, just tour your old stuff, and it's okay if you're not putting out new music. But Finger 11 here with this song is accomplishing it. I think that the song is solid, and I'm excited to hear the album. Honestly, Paralyzer is one of my favorite songs of like that era. So when I heard new Finger 11 music, I got excited, honestly.
Hell yeah. So that's dope. I thought this song fucked. The first half kind of reminded me of Heart Attack Man a little bit, and then it morphed into, like the dad rock type vibe. But I thought it was great. I mean, it wasn't like the dad rock. It was the modern take on it, which I really liked. So I enjoyed it. I truly enjoyed it, because typically once I get that first little chord and I get that little hint of, you're stuck. You're stuck in that era, huh? But it feels like it's old, but with new sparkle on it. I really liked it a lot. 1,000 Below and Low Spirit dropped their new single, Save Me. Weird track for a single. I love 1,000 Below, so I'm happy to get whatever. Why are you dropping a slow track as a single? I love it. Questionable? I love it.
Yeah, interesting single. I think the pairing of 1,000 Below and Low Spirit is really interesting. I like what Low Spirit's been doing. I think on paper, I thought that this was going to go a different way than it is in actuality, which is fine. I agree with you. Single wise, it's an interesting single, and I'm curious to see where this fits on the record. But the record comes out at some point this month, so we don't have much longer to wait to find out where this fits on the album and how it sounds compared to everything else, which I'm excited for. I'm excited to finally hear this new 1,000 Below album. Hillhaven dropped a new single, Hurt Somebody. I've been digging this new era of Hillhaven for sure. Say My Name has still been on repeat for me, honestly, and that song came out a few months ago. And the band has just leveled up. We had a bunch of singles that came out last year, along with the band kind of forming and beginning all of the songs that came alongside that, and then we got the new era of the band. Some members dropped, some members joined, and we've gotten what has become of the band now. And I really dig this new iteration, and I think the songs that have come out of this era and this formation of the band are the best the band has been, and I'm very excited.
Hell yeah. This song has some fucking stank in it, and I love it. It sounds like a song that I should have known already, because it's that catchy, and it has kind of that earworm to it, and it has that earworm rhythm to it. Fucking killer. They did something with this one. There's special sauce in this one. This one needs to do something.
They sauced it up. They were in the kitchen like this.
The live leak guy. Like the live leak guy. Yeah, I know exactly. I know you put it down. I fucking love this track. I think it's sassy. I think it is catchy, and I think it's great. Wonderful. This is possibly my favorite Hillhaven track.
Oh yeah.
Fox. For our last track, Rivals dropped the new single, Copacetic. I only know how to say that word because of Dan Howell. Thank you, Dan Howell. Thank you, Phil Lester.
That's great. We had Rivals on the podcast a few years ago to chat about their last full length, and then we really haven't covered them since then. I've seen them a couple of times with this new era of the band, but I can't lie, this band has been all over both our TikTok For You page and my Instagram feed.
Can't get away from them.
And we saw this band open again for Archers earlier last month, and I'm blown away by the songwriting just across the board. Every single song is exactly what I'm looking for. All of the things that I repeatedly compliment on the podcast about, the chorus and the lyricism and the writing and the rights and all of that fucking bullshit, is I find that in every single song with this band. So I found myself they've got an EP coming out. It comes out in a couple of weeks, which I'm very excited for. I found myself with those singles just continuing to get them stuck in my head. So I was like,
shit.
you know what? There's a new single coming out. Fuck it. I got to put it on the playlist because I got to get my thoughts out somewhere. And I got this platform where, I have a microphone and people can choose whether or not they want to listen to me. But one person has to listen to me with the opinions no matter what. And she's on the other side of the Zoom meeting. So at least there's one person listening. I love this song. It's been stuck in my head. I'm very excited for this upcoming EP from Rivals. It drops in a couple of weeks. All the singles thus far have been on loop for me, both in my head and in actuality. So I'm just excited to have the whole thing in my hands. They played, I believe, the whole thing when they opened for Archers. So the songs rock.
Record's good.
Yeah.
No, I thought that this song was incredible. It's catchy as shit. It's almost like, that siren genre that I was trying to pick up like a year ago.
Mm-hmm.
It like teeters on the line of it, but then it goes right back to poppy. I fuck with it. I like it. Catchy as shit. Great song. Yeah.
Hell yeah. Well, as Gloria said, that's all the topics we have today. You can follow us on Instagram, it's Good Noise Podcast. Facebook is Good Noise Pod. TikTok is Good Noise Podcast. YouTube is Good Noise Podcast. Audio streaming services are all Good Noise Podcast. And Patreon is patreon.com/Good Noise Podcast. Gloria's got your Patreon supporters, your Twitch subs, your important plugs, your merch store plug, and your Amazon storefront plug. And then we're going to sign off.
Check out our merch. It's goodnoisepodcast.creator-spring.com. Check out our Amazon storefront. It has everything you need if you want to start a podcast like us. If you are...
You want to be like us when we grow up?
There's your Amazon storefront.
Yeah.
There you go. Thank you to our Patreon supporters, Matt from Pulses, Pop Punk Apologists, Infamous Debub, Tyson from Heal to Hurt, and Eric. And thank you to our Twitch sub, Matt, again from Pulses. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, everybody. Much appreciated, as always.
Much appreciated. Important plugs. Black Lives Matter. Stop Asian Hate. Free Palestine. Fuck ICE. Be a decent person. Protect people around you. And support local and small bands.
Hell yeah. Well, that's all we have today. I've been Shane.
I've been Glory.
And we've been the Good Noise Podcast. See you next week. Bye.
Bye.